local people, local news and events, local sports, local matters. For all things Lloydminster and area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Hey, welcome inside the new Lloydminster Nissan, where they have the guaranteed lowest rates and the best selection of pre-owned vehicles that they've ever had. And they are all clearly marked as well. And right now in our service department here at the new Lloydminster Nissan, you get 10% off. That's 10% off your bill. That includes parts and labor. Excited to have Treena Schmidt here with us. She's the executive director of the Libbie Young Centre, and she's joining us this morning. We're going to find out more about mental health matters and the auction that they have going on right now as well. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water, and with over 22 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and their service is superior. For iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Superior Water a call, 780-875-6636, or visit them at 57th Avenue right beside Sheepskin Loft, and stay hydrated with pure, clean water. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste, and after all, it is superior water. Cupcakes for Caregivers is a great way to recognize the people in our lives that go above and beyond to help others in our community. Our latest recipient was Faye Forges, who we were excited to deliver a dozen cupcakes to and say thank you for the great care that Faye provides her daughter Bria. So now is a great time to nominate a caregiver that you know by sending an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. Cupcakes for Caregivers is proudly brought to you by Sobeys Lloydminster and the Lloydminster and District United Way. 1 in 4 people are caregivers in some way, whether professionally or whether compassionately. So get those nominations in ASAP. Email livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. Today is the final day to get your tickets for Umbrella Marketing and Design's Elevate 2025 presentation this Saturday. A day designed for young women ages 12 to 18 and their moms or mother figures to develop life skills and keep them safe. The day starts with registration, icebreakers, introductions, before a group of 5 panelists share their stories. And then the chatterbox sessions will be followed by empowerment sessions, where attendees can choose from 4 different topics, including nutrition, physical health, life skills, and how to stay safe on social media. The keynote speaker is Jess Tatu, the sole owner of the Just For You Day Spas in Saskatchewan and Alberta. Tickets are $65 each, or if you're going as a mom and a daughter, or a daughter and mother figure, you can purchase 2 tickets for $100, and you can get those at umbrella-inc.ca. You're invited to be a part of the Housing and Homelessness Symposium tomorrow at the Nissan Hall. Tickets are just $25. The day includes guest speakers, 2 fireside chats, which I'm happy to moderate, and the chance to ask some questions. And that's why I say you're able to be a part of this symposium. Kagan Neen with the Social Action Coalition in Lloydminster told us the day will start off with a fantastic guest speaker talking about his lived experience.
And so we actually have the author of the God Bless Cart, so J.W. Fleming. He's actually here in Lloydminster. He was unhoused. He wrote this book. So he has a lot of great experience and education from a community perspective in regards to how he was able to get through some of those road bumps and those barriers, and to be able to help benefit himself and now find full-time employment. So we're starting off the day with him. So that's kind of like where we are.
Tickets are available through the City of Lloydminster's website, and they were telling us, Tyler and Kagan were telling us that basically they'll start with where we're at right now and where we're headed to when it comes to housing in Lloydminster. Well, this Thursday, we're heading out to deliver our first spring meal to Sean and Jamie Brzezinski's farm. We'll be heading out for Feed the Farmer. It's back, and you can nominate a farmer on our sponsorship pages, including the Live with Kurt Price Facebook page, to win a delicious roast beef meal delivered right to the field. They'll also get entered to win one of 2 $500 Diamond 7 Meat gift cards, plus winners will also be entered to win 160 acres of aerial spray from Bradley Air. Our first meal, again, is coming up on Thursday. So we want to thank all of our sponsors, Bradley Air, Diamond 7 Meats, Sobeys Lloydminster, Horizon Ag and Turf, Richardson Pioneer, BASF, and the Tent Guys. Outlaw Music is coming to Kid Scotty. The Lloydminster Lions, Parton Productions, and Live with Kurt Price are excited to present The Highwaymen, a tribute to Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson. This Thursday, a 7-piece band will take the stage at the Kid Scotty Hall and present an authentic Highwaymen show that will take you back to some, if not the best country music of all time. For tickets, you can go to Exhaust Masters here in Lloydminster, talk to any Lions member, or call 780-871-1505. We're into week number 3 of the Lloydminster Exhibition's Chase the Ace draw. That happened fast. The jackpot is over $28,000, and tomorrow night's draw goes at 7:30, and tickets are $10 each, or 3 tickets for $25, 8 for $50, or 20 for $100. There's 3 ways to buy tickets. You can find out more at lloydex.com. You can also stop in and use your credit card right there on site at the main office, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or use your debit card or cash to pick up your tickets right on site. The Lloydminster Regional Health Foundation is holding their Sunrise Run this Saturday. The day is a chance to gather in the sunshine for your own mental health and raise some dollars for mental health programs in our community. Health Foundation CEO Stephanie Monroe told us how mental health struggles affect all of us and how important it is to support these programs.
When we look at the statistics, 1 in 3 people in Lloydminster suffer from mental health. And when we look at that, that means if 1 in 3 people suffer, then basically everybody is impacted, because we all know or love someone that is having or that is currently struggling, right? And Saskatchewan alone has the highest statistics of suicide in all of Canada.
You can register your team yet today at 321gorunning.ca. They're committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. BioClean Disaster Services is Lloydminster's local restoration company. They just celebrated 10 years in Lloydminster. And I stopped by their barbecue, was talking to Jody, and he said, you know, we've been in Lloydminster actually longer than 10 years. It's just we've been in this location for 10 years. But congratulations, BioClean Disaster Services, on 10 years at that location and helping people in Lloydminster get their lives back. What does that mean? Well, taking care of your property and your belongings. That's what it means, but it also means taking care of you and your family, which is the most important thing for BioClean Disaster Services. 1-833-246-8326. They're Lloydminster's local restoration company. They're also Lloydminster's largest restoration company. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to find out more about the Mental Health Matters program here in Lloydminster.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal, and that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Spend less time chasing wind speeds and more time doing what matters. Bradley Air Spray takes care of your mid-season applications with speed, precision, and zero crop damage. No ruts, no delays, just fast, effective coverage that protects your yield and preserves your time. Plan to attend their grand opening on June 18th at the Lloydminster Airport, where you could win 160 acres of spraying. Bradley Air Spray, brand new to Lloydminster and area. Call or text 780-205-7767. That's 780-205-PROP. Bradley Air Spray, because your time is worth more. Well, we are excited to have the Executive Director of the Libbie Young Centre with us today. We have Treena Schmidt joining us here this morning, and we're going to find out more about their auction, about the Mental Health Matters program, and about the Libbie Young Centre. And kind of met Treena when we delivered cupcakes for caregivers to Cheryl Campbell.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
And Cheryl is our day program team lead. And this year's auction, the money we raise is going to go to that program, which is such an amazing program.
So we can kind of take certain things in Lloydminster for granted. I think we hear Libbie Young. I think we hear that name a lot, like we hear Libbie Young here. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure how many people actually know what the Libbie Young Centre is all about.
Yes,
maybe Treena, you can take us through.
Absolutely.
What is Libbie Young?
Absolutely.
When we hear it, what are we talking about?
So the Libbie Young Centre is a not-for-profit here in Lloydminster. We've been in operation since 1983. And I think you're right. I came to Lloydminster actually to take this job a couple years ago. And one of the first things I realized is we need to speak a little bit more about what we do, right? Our community is so supportive of us, but I did run across people who said, what is it that you do? Because I've heard of you, but I really don't know.
Right.
So we do support adults living with mental illness. We do that through a variety of programs. We have some residential programs where we have clients who come and live with us. They go through our life skills program. Then once they've got some of those life skills to help them eventually go into the community, because that's the ultimate goal, is to transition into community, live independently, live healthy, live happily. They come through our life skills program, they transition into our supported independent living program, and then eventually into the community. And there, if they wish, they can engage with our community outreach worker who, tends to see them once a week for an hour, do a check-in, how are things going, continue to work on those life skills, what they need to stay independent in the community. And then we have our day program. So that's open to all of our clients, whether they are a part of life skills, supported independent living, a community outreach client, but it's also open to individuals who are living in our community that may not be connected to any of our other programs, but want that social engagement, that education. They can come and be a day program client.
Do you need to get referred by a doctor?
So for a couple of our programs, the in-house programs, we do need a referral from a medical professional or an allied health professional. So it could be a social worker working with somebody, could be a mental health nurse, a counselor. For our community outreach program and for our day program, you can self-refer. We still want some understanding of, what is the mental illness that you live with? What is your treatment plan? How can we best support you? But that is those two programs can be self-referred.
How many beds do you have at the Libbie Young Centre?
So in our life skills program, we have 6 bachelor suites, and there we have staff on 24/7. In our supported independent living program, we have 14 one-bedroom suites. And again, they can access staff on site, but again, those clients have done the work on their own wellness to the point that they are living more independently and only need maybe a few touch points a week.
How did you get hooked up with the Libbie Young Centre, Treena? You mentioned, you came to Lloydminster a couple of years ago to take this job.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a local girl, if I can say that. I was born and raised in Provost.
That's pretty local.
It brought me closer to home. It brought me closer to family. But it also brought me an opportunity to use my skills and abilities as a social worker to help in a different area of social need. I was working historically in community safety. I was working in family violence prevention. I worked a little bit in mental health when I was was in the city of Edmonton. But yeah, the opportunity arose, the stars aligned, and I couldn't be happier to be in Lloyd, and I couldn't be prouder to be the executive director of this agency.
When it comes to mental health, we hear it a lot more now than we used to hear it even before COVID, I would think.
Yes.
I would think COVID put it in everybody's, all of a sudden it became the kind of thing.
Yeah.
Has the Libbie Young Centre had to grow? Have you had to increase programs? Have you had to do just kind of readjust things? Because there is, I mean, I when we had Stephanie on the program, she said 1 in 3.
Right.
1 in 3 people.
Right.
So if,
right.
if 1 in 3 people are affected, that means that everybody
Right.
is affected.
Right.
So
Right.
how does that change what you guys were doing?
You mentioned a really good thing, COVID. COVID, I think, brought a lot of social issues that were sort of behind the scenes out into the open. You think about the stress maybe that you and I, who might not be living with a mental illness, went through. We all of a sudden had to learn to work from home. We didn't have our connections with friends, colleagues, neighbors as much as we did. It was kind of a hunker down type situation. And you think of somebody who is living with mental illness or dealing with another type of social issue, how much harder that time must have been. And so, yes, this issue is evolving, as you've said. We see more and more now what I would call concurrent disorders. So we have clients who have struggled with addictions, have been able to recover, are working their recovery program in terms of their addictions, and now we're wanting to focus on their mental illness and their recovery from that, per se. We have grown and opened our community outreach program because, again, we know that once clients come through our in-house programs, they still need support in the community, right? That living with mental illness doesn't ever stop. It's something that you have to live with every day, but you can. It's amazing. A lot of my clients, you pass them on the street and you wouldn't know. This is kind of one of those invisible, Canadian Mental Health called it invisible disability. I'm not sure I like the term disability, but it's so true. Somebody with a physical disability, something that you can see, people understand better. But when it's something you can't see, in our society, we're still leery of that, and there's still stigma around that.
What are some of those things? Like, if we think we know somebody with, like, am I asking the right person? Like, how do you identify someone? You know what?
I don't know that you do. To be honest with you, I don't know that you do. And I think that the theme this year that Canadian Mental Health came out with, Unmasking Mental Health, is really about that. So masking is something that we all do. On a daily basis, quite honestly. When we meet someone new, we don't automatically just tell everything about yourselves. You be selective, right? Masking is a technique we use. But when masking becomes something that you have to do on a daily basis to retain your job, to retain your housing, to not be judged, it becomes very tiring, and it has a huge physical toll. It can have a huge emotional toll on a person. And so what we can do is make mental health a topic of conversation. We might have a conversation with somebody who's waiting for a hip replacement or is living with diabetes. And that seems like a normal conversation to have. But when somebody opens up that they're struggling with mental illness, sometimes we're not sure what to say. Sometimes we, shy away from that. And I think what we need to do is have an open conversation, approach it with curiosity, approach it with empathy. That person needs to feel understood and not judged, to be able to say, yeah, I struggle on a daily basis. And quite honestly, we all struggle on a daily basis. I had a lot of nerves coming into today to meet with you.
You had a lot of nerve coming here.
But, we deal with stress every day. And when you have the coping mechanisms to deal with that, you get through those stressors. When you maybe don't have the coping mechanisms or you struggle to employ those, it becomes a hard slog every day. to walk through your daily life and daily routine.
So when we delivered cupcakes for caregivers,
Yeah.
and we presented the cupcakes to Cheryl, there were some, do we call them clients?
Yeah, that was
Clients
our day
there.
program, yeah.
They were more, I would say they were more emotional than Cheryl was. Like if somebody helps us with a broken arm, we're pretty
Right.
thankful,
Right,
right?
right.
And it just struck
Right.
me that, man,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what's worse, having a broken arm
Right.
or having someone, because the clients that we saw were very emotional about Cheryl
Yes.
winning this.
Yes.
So, not even winning, just being a recipient.
Being acknowledged.
Being
Yes.
acknowledged.
Yes.
But that's the difference that the Libbie Young, like I saw the difference Libbie Young
Thank you.
makes right in
Nice.
that moment.
Yes.
Right?
Because Cheryl is one. I mean, a lot of our staff, they don't come to work for recognition. They come because of the cause. They come for the people. And one thing that I say to all of our clients is, once you're a part of the Libbie Young family, you're always a part of the Libbie Young family. And so when our clients walk in, they start our programs, they often hear us reflecting back to things they tell us, yeah, that's pretty normal. I understand, right? That must be hard.
Yeah.
And they get comfortable with us because it is a welcoming, inclusive, accepting environment. And that's what we work hard every day to work on, because when you are welcomed, when you're included, when you are encouraged to be vulnerable and do some self-reflection or engage in some coping strategies, you learn, you grow, you enhance your skills, and that's what it's all about.
And it seems to me like if you see somebody has fixed your arm, then it's easy for the community to see that this is taking place, that we're, if I get a cold and I go to the hospital, I can get, a prescription or something, I get better.
Right.
But how does the Libbie Young Centre express the need to the community? Because in mental health is not something you can easily see.
No.
It's not like you don't see
No.
that people are better.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you guys get that message across that, hey, we're here in Lloydminster, we're doing good things.
Right.
Hopefully you'll support us.
Right. Well, and part of that, I'm going to say, I think we are getting that message out, thankfully, because with our auction now, we've had such tremendous support from sponsors to donors for items, to bidders right now. But part of that is, again, we engage with the community. That's a huge part of our day program. It's not just programming within the center. Yes, we do that. We do programming such as educational programs. We might bring somebody in to talk about smoking cessation or healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, those types of educational, sessions. We also have at least once a month a karaoke jam in our wellness center. It's the greatest time ever. But we also engage with community. For example, yesterday we had a group that engaged with the Red Dress Day and the walk. Right, to remember missing and murdered Indigenous women. We engage with the art and museum to do crafting and programs they have. We go out to the sticks. The clients love going to the sticks and playing billiards. We have chatter cheers. So it is about engaging in community through recreation, leisure activities, and saying, hey, we're here, and we're just like everyone else in lots of ways, right? And being a part of this community is important to all of us.
Well, you mentioned the auction. What we'll do is we'll take a break and we'll come back. We've kind of learned about the Libbie Young Centre, and now we'll take a break and come back and we'll find out how you can support the Libbie Young Centre in just a moment.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, We're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden and Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Wellings of Lloydminster is a brand new community within a community and excited to help you live life to the fullest. At Wellings of Lloydminster, their mission is to enable connection, build community, and enrich the lives of their 55-plus members. Discover a new way of living and retirement and experience more freedom. At this time of year, you want more freedom. Freedom to travel, freedom to spend more time with your family at the lake. At Wellings of Lloydminster, independence speaks for itself, and the social opportunities outside your door are endless. It really is care freedom living. You can visit Wellings of Lloydminster at 3211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side. Gorgeous 1- and 2-bedroom villas are available now, and the 2-bedroom villas include a garage. If you want more information, visit wellingsoflloydminster.com. We're excited to have Treena Schmidt here. She is the Executive Director with the Libbie Young Centre. We've kind of found out a little bit more about the Libbie Young Centre, and now we're going to find out how you could support the Libbie Young Centre, and one of those ways is with an auction.
Absolutely.
This is a regular auction that you guys do. Tell us about your Mental Health Matters auction.
Annually, we hold a Mental Health Matters campaign. It's kind of got two spears to it. One is awareness, so thank you for today and being able to talk about mental health and mental illness, because that is important. Again, as you and I have been saying, it's not seen, and so it's harder to kind of get out there and encourage the discussions. But
success stories aren't seen either.
Right.
Which is huge.
Right.
I mean, you want to have that knowledge that, yes, we're helping people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we have, I will just, on that note, we have one young man who came through our programs and is living in the community and is thriving and has now written a book about his journey. And so it's a great success story. I'd love to get out there. So that's another opportunity for us maybe in the future, Kurt.
Yeah.
But the other prong of our Mental Health Matters campaign is our fundraising. Like many not-for-profits, we have some core funding, but we have to fundraise and grant write and, to be able to maintain our services. So this is our annual fundraiser. And in the last couple of years, we've had an online auction. So this is our second year at doing the auction. We've had some amazing sponsors. They're all listed on our auction webpage. We've had some amazing donors in the community of auction items. And the auction's now live. It went live yesterday at 9 a.m. and it closes at 9 p.m. on May 11th. So items are still there. I was looking at it this morning. Some things are really popular, like a Supreme car detailing package or gift certificate. Some restaurant gift certificates. There's one for getting your nails done. There's a lot of things that are sort of getting those bids right now, but there's a lot of other things that are waiting for those bids. So we have some amazing items, if I want to say, like home and garden items. So we have garden decor, solar lights. We have some locally handcrafted and framed paintings. We've also tried to bolster some of our local artisans. So some of our artisans who are at the farmers market, we've got some of their items in the auction as well. They wanted to support us. Yep. There's sporting goods. There's a tennis racket. So if somebody wants to take up tennis, there's a tennis racket. We've got ladder golf and lawn darts. So, you know, it's that season that we want to get outside. We want to start having some fun. We also have a lawn chair curling game. I never knew that existed, but it exists. Yeah. So, you know, some amazing items up for bid still. And yeah, right through to 9 p.m. on the 11th.
Where do you find the auction?
32auctions.com/LYC 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
And May 11th would be Monday?
Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
If I have my dates right.
No, yeah. Faye and I went through them all this morning, and I still don't have them right. So Sunday at what time?
9 p.m.
That's the big stretch. Will be 8 p.m. Check your items. Make sure you set a reminder. Do that. What? Tell me more about the Mental Health Matters campaign.
Absolutely. Well, again, as we've been talking, you know, mental health is often that social issue that is not easily seen. And, you know, therefore maybe not really understood, right? And so this campaign is about bringing that forward, having those discussions, again, opening it up as a normal topic, as a normal item that you say, what's happening with people, you know, around us? And in fact, we all deal with mental health. We all deal with daily stressors, right? We all use different coping strategies to get through. Some days are tougher than others. You know, we have something important coming up that we never did before, and that throws us off a bit. But we use our coping strategies, and we get through that. But then there are individuals who, again, are living with mental illness, whether that's something like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. There's numerous disorders. But when you're dealing with a mental illness and your brain is functioning in a different way, that adds a great deal of complexity to just managing your daily life. And unfortunately, people tend to isolate, right, and not interact. And that's not what we want. That actually, unfortunately, you know, continues that cycle of not having wellness and not having health, right? So we need to take care of ourselves. We need to build our social networks, right? Whether that's friends, families, neighbors, or professional help, speaking to somebody, right? We need to do some self-care, take some time to reflect for ourselves, take some time to reflect on what our coping strategies are, so that when we are in those moments of, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? We can employ those, right? And get through that situation rather than withdraw from it.
Where do the dollars go? Like, do you have a specific plan for the dollars that are raised through the auction?
Absolutely, absolutely. So our day program, as we talked about earlier, is where all of our the funds that we raise are going to go. So again, our day program, the focus of that is for our clients to interact, learn, socialize with peers in a safe and inclusive environment. There's educational components. So again, this is always about building those life skills that you need, you know, just to move through your everyday. So it might be, they might have a group cooking session where everyone takes a meal home with them. They might meet to talk about healthy relationships and healthy boundaries. They might meet to talk about financial literacy, for example. But then there's other days where they engage in leisure and recreation. So they might go out for a walk and talk. They, might, I said karaoke. I default to the karaoke because I always enjoy being in the office, honestly, on the days where they're out in the wellness center. And our clients have no inhibitions in that. Like, everyone's belting out their best tunes. And it's just such an amazing feeling to be able to watch our clients get up there, sing their favorite song, and again, in an environment where there's no judgment. It's about having fun. It's about expressing yourself.
You had mentioned masking.
Yes.
You had mentioned masking. Is the money going to this program specifically for, like, do you do that every year? Does it always go towards the day program?
The last 2 years it has, because unfortunately our day program is our
growing.
least core funded
okay.
program.
Okay.
So we have core funding for more core funding for our other programs, and the day program is the one that we have to fundraise most for.
And that would be the people who are masking.
Absolutely, and they're always masking. And actually this week, Cheryl is using some of the materials from Canadian Mental Health, because it was Canadian Mental Health who created the theme for the week, because this is Mental Health Week throughout Canada. And she's talking to our clients about masking, right? And again, we all do it, but sometimes we do it without knowing it. I was reading some of the materials this morning, and one of the, the roles, they talked about, the people who mask, the people who are perfectionists, people who are, the macho people who are caregivers. And it made me sit back and reflect, because I'm like, wow, yeah, I tend to be a huge caregiver with my family and my friends. And so what does that mean for me? Why am I doing that, right? How do I, make sure I'm taking care of myself when I'm taking care of others? So again, it's about that opening up the conversation and being able to reflect on yourself and how you use masking in, healthy ways, but also ways that are maybe not as healthy. And then how do you overcome that? How do you change that, right? And that's a process. That doesn't happen overnight.
There's a documentary about Robin Williams' life. And, we all saw Rob Williams.
Yes.
He's this funny guy and everything,
Yes.
but nobody knew that he struggled with so much mental health
Yes.
for years
Great
and years
example.
and years.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking of when you were talking about, how would we identify someone?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost impossible to
It is very
pick
hard.
out.
It is very
Yeah.
hard. But one of the things that, again, masking is that person who always says, I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Right? Are you really? It's not accepting it for face value necessarily. Right? It's like, are you really fine today, or is there something going on? How can I help you? Right? It's opening up that conversation, again, with curiosity, with acceptance, with respect. Because you do that, you might hear that person say, oh, I'm actually not fine today. I'm really struggling today. Thank you for asking.
Is it self-identification? Like, most of your clients, have they realized there's something wrong with me? It hasn't been somebody like, if you, a mom might identify a son as, having something physically wrong, but they could also identify something's not right with, your spouse, something's not right with them.
Right.
Your son, your daughter, and they're acting a little bit different. Does it come down to people saying you need to look into your mental health, or does it come into people saying, I just have something that's different. I just don't feel right?
We certainly have individuals who self-identify. I'm going to say that usually, though, they've also done some work prior and worked with a professional or worked with family or friends on something, right? A lot of our clients are referred by professionals, right? So, and some of our clients have unfortunately had, a break in their mental health, right? They maybe have been hospitalized or struggled, and somebody has said, hey, we've got support for you. Can I connect you? And that's often how our referrals come in.
That's how the referrals start?
Yes.
That's how you get hooked up with the Libbie Young Centre?
Yes.
Okay. What am I forgetting to ask, Treena?
I don't think you're forgetting to ask anything. I think this
Okay.
has been a great conversation. I would just like to encourage our viewers, to bid now, bid often. You can come to the website again, www.32auctions/LYC 2025. Take a look at the items there. It might be for yourself, might be a gift you want to give to somebody else. If you don't see anything there, there's also a donate button.
Okay.
So you can donate. Every penny, every dollar counts. It helps us to continue to support those individuals who, again, often struggle in silence. We
Is there
appreciate
something to be
that.
said with this time of year? Is there something to be said of coming out of winter? Because winters, we always hear seasonal stress disorder.
Winter can be harder, definitely, and winter's a time also with the cold that you're shut in more, right? But again, I'm going to say mental illness doesn't discriminate in terms of who it impacts, the time of year it impacts, right? Whether you are somebody who struggles with income, whether you have somebody who, has a bank account that is flush, mental illness doesn't discriminate.
I don't know if Libbie Young Centre is set up to help those who are, like when Stephanie had said 1 in 3, and then we all know somebody. Like it can be stressful on people around them too. Is there something like, what do you do if you know somebody, maybe they're in the Libbie Young program? Is there programs to help those people? Like,
Yeah,
I don't even know if I'm asking that right.
I think what you're talking about is support for caregivers.
Yeah. Sorry, English isn't my first language.
No, I totally get what you're saying, right? And I think, again, with Canadian mental health, in bigger centers there are programs that are virtual. I don't have that on the top of my head.
Okay.
But certainly, if somebody is struggling, they can give our center a call. Whether we're the right service or not, we can also help point them in the right direction, right? So we work very closely with our colleagues in mental health and addictions through Sask Health Authority. We work very closely with other not-for-profits in Lloyd, and we can, give a person a sense, if it's not us, try this number, try this name, try this organization. So we're always stand ready to help.
Treena, you've worked in other communities, like you've been to Edmonton and you've worked in these communities. Is Lloydminster unique in the fact that all these organizations seem to interlink and like?
No, we need we need collaboration.
Is it unique here, in a way?
In a way it is, yes. I think lots of communities struggle with this is my piece of the pie or this is your piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And it's critical in addressing social issues that we are collaborating to say, this is what I can bring to the table. What can you bring to the table?
Right.
And how can we work together, whether, that's on the client front, right, providing programs and services. For example, Cheryl, not too long ago, collaborated with the Native Friendship Centre, and they had a group of people going out to Bud Miller Park, and we joined in with them, right? Let's people get connected and meet up. What better way? But I've also talked with other agencies about, how do we collaboratively hire or recruit or, you can't do it on your own. Mm-hmm. Social issues can't be addressed in silo. So what Lloyd has going on is a good thing.
Thank you, Treena. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
And now when we hear Libbie Young, we can, I think, identify a little bit more of what the Libbie Young Centre is all about, awesome. what they do and what they accomplish here in our community. We'll be back with you on Thursday. I'll be at the symposium tomorrow, so we won't have a show tomorrow, but we will be back with you Thursday. And on Thursday, we're going to find out more about Lemonade Day. There's only like 9 days to get the kids registered for Lemonade Day, so we'll find out more about that. And we're also going to be finding out more about a local company that maybe people don't realize is available in our city and how local they are, and that's SwiftNet. I ran into a couple guys the other day and they said, do you know that SwiftNet is in Lloydminster? I said, I thought you were just a rural thing. And they said, no, we're available in Lloyd too. And SwiftNet, when you think about how many things they sponsor in our community, You go, yeah, they really are local and they are available in Lloyd. So we'll find out more about that when Darren joins us as well. So we're looking forward to talking to Corrine McGurr, and we'll talk to Darren about SwiftNet as well. That's Thursday morning, 10 a.m. right here at the new Lloydminster Nissan.